Very good. So I'm having fun talking about how to function in these kinds of scenarios. So another one that I like to talk about, which I'm going to in this video, is how to function in a you know, like living in a van or like a small trailer. As I said before, this is a 8x15 trailer that I actually got for free. They were throwing it away and someone offered it to me, and I was like, I just happened to be able to, you know, be in a situation where I could snag it. And even though at the time I was living in a van. And but yeah, some things that I've been living in a van and or trailer for about 6 years or so. And my approach is a lot different than what you see on, you know, the big YouTube channels. Like, it's not like sensational and everything. I like it. I don't mind it. There's things, you know, there's challenges like with any living situation. So I lived in my van for a couple years before maybe it was like 3 years before, and then I moved into a 30-foot RV with my girlfriend and lived with her for about 2 years, and then moved back into my van and lived in my van for about a year, and then have lived in this trailer now for about a year. And so, so where I'm at right now is the tactics I use to live as comfortably as possible in this trailer are the same ones that I used when I was living in my van. And so my place is a mess, but I don't care. But I want to show you just like some things, you know, probably not much, but you know, it's fun. I'm just having fun doing this. So okay. So for example, when we're looking at, I'm sitting on my bed right here, and you can see, you might notice that it's kind of like you see this weird shit in the background. It can seem kind of interesting, like this weird looking mask right here. And then you got like colors, green, you know, red. You see all these kind of colors, and it's kind of hippie trippy, weirdo or whatever. It's just kind of like, so this is something that for me is important. First of all, color. Okay, color. If a person is going to be living in small quarters like a van or even a car, you know, color is more important than a person might realize. It really is. Okay, like if I'm living in a van, especially in the desert, like I lived in the desert in a van for a long time. And in the desert, you're going to find that, you know, if you have electricity and an air conditioner and you're living out in the desert, you're going to find that you're going to be spending a good amount of time in your van or your trailer because it's like 125 degrees outside. So, but generally, if I'm living in a van or something like that, I want to make it homey. I don't want it to just be like what the fuck ever, where it's just white walls and all there is my white walls with my spray bottle that has vinegar and my, you know, and everything is just utilitarian. I mean, that sounds great and stuff, but the thing is, you know, that can really wear down on a person's psyche, and it can mentally affect them, you know, and everybody's a little bit different. But like me personally, I like to personalize my living quarters instead of it just be white walls with utilitarian stuff, my tools and all my necessities. All now it's like personalizing it is a necessity. That is part of the necessity of living this way, you know. So that's why you'll see color, you know. I need color. I can't just be sitting in a white walled fucking, because I'm gonna start feeling like I'm in an insane asylum in a padded white room, you know. So I personalize my shit. So I'll give you, you know, see the curtains, you know, it's just like, it's kind of homey. And mirrors, see those two mirrors? I got one here, one there. Mirrors are really good at creating where it feels more open. And so if you're living in a small quarters, mirrors are actually can be utilized to open up the space to where it feels like there's more room. It breathes more. It expands it beyond, you know. And so see, I got mirrors, you know, and there's just color and some design. Like I actually painted these cupboards, and anyways, and then so. And this is another thing, clothing. If I'm living in my van or in a trailer or something, I do not want to appear to others as though I'm living that way. Not because I'm ashamed of it, because if I had my way, trust me, I'd dress and look however the fuck I wanted. And I'd probably look a lot different than I do in this video. But appearances are important. So I've got, you know, I'm very selective about what I wear. Like that I'm not drawing attention to myself, or the attention I am drawing is not negative. But I'm also a freak kind of person. Like I'm like a Jimi Hendrix kind of wave your freak flag kind of thing. So I have to, I find that important as well, because again, personalizing. I am an individual. I am not a fucking robot, and I am not going to assimilate to this NPC robot culture where everybody looks and acts the same. It's like I'm always going to give the finger to that, but at the same time I do it tactfully. So I'm very selective about, you know, how I appear. Okay, and then as you go on, like you see the color, like, well, you can't see, let's see, can you see that? Yeah, like the green towel. Like if I have hand towels for the kitchen or whatever, I'm selective about. I want to make, this is my space, this is my sanctuary. So it's not going to be a padded white wall room. You know, that's not sanctuary. And so, and then like some more stuff, like you see, I've got swords and knives that I kind of display as you know, decoration, which it works. It's very effective. But more importantly, these have a function. This I call Fangorn. Fangorn. Okay, this is a badass fucking. So this stuff comes in handy, you know, outside of just being decorative. If some motherfucker's trying to get in my fucking place, I'm gonna fucking stick him or whatever. So anyways, now I gotta figure out how to put that back. We'll just leave it like that for now. But anyways, you know, here's a walking stick that I found. And I really like, you know, I really want, this is my sanctuary. This is not just some place that I stay and survive. And so you'll see, you know, I kind of do my little thing, design it. And here again, color. See the color? You know, color is very important to stimulate my mind so that I don't feel like I'm, again, in a fucking padded room at an institution or insane asylum. So I really take care in personalizing my living quarters, whatever they may be, even if it's just that I'm living in a van, you know, or something, or a small trailer. See, I got my tomatoes and my bananas. So this stuff is important. People don't realize how important this kind of stuff is not just gay, like, so I kind of have my little own personal design to my living quarters. And and I always, I learned this from watching other videos, because I've kind of geeked out on this myself, watching other people's videos and stuff, and a lot of it is crap. A lot of these hyped up channels that are getting all these views and bringing in all this money, showing people how to nomad and live like a nomad. A lot of it's bullshit hype, so of course. But then, you've got some, you can get information out of these guys too. And oh yeah, I didn't show the battle axe. I've also got the Viking battle axe over here. So but anyways, things like, also like whatever I'm accumulating, I'm always trying to make sure that it's multi-purpose. These are multi-purpose items. So like this has a multi-purpose. It looks like a design. It has kind of a design to it. It looks kind of cool rather than just a white wall. But also, these things have a functionality. Like this is protection. These are tools. That I can actually use as well. And so most of the stuff that I've accumulated, despite how it may appear, almost all of this stuff has a multifunction. Like you just going, for example, to the mirror, this mirror right here. Like I said, mirrors add a lot of aesthetic to a living environment. But also mirrors can be used, like if I'm like trying to, shave my, trim my beard or something, So anyways, I'm always, and so and it makes living like this more interesting, because then you start always thinking about, well, what can I do to improve this minimalist lifestyle that I'm living? How can I make it more comfortable, more effective, more efficient, and space conscious is always, I've become so much more space conscious. Like all the items that I do accumulate, I'm always thinking about space consciousness, and organization is a big part of it too. Like everything, all this stuff has to be organized. And you would be surprised the amount of shit I got packed in here. Like when I'm going over my supplies for the bathroom, like the supplies that I need in order to function without access to readily available access to water, you'd think those supplies are just like piled up and taking all this space, but they're not. When like right now, my place isn't clean. When I clean it, it looks like you can't even tell that I've got all this fucking bulk stuff stored in here, so organization. And so, it's like an opportunity to learn how to organize and refine organization skills and refine all these different kinds of ideas, right down to like appearance. How do I appear to people? Because people, if you're living in a van or something, a lot of people are going to judge you and stuff. But if I don't appear to anyone to look that way, but I can still personalize my appearance so that I'm still me without conforming to the NPC fucking, bullshit, and still be myself, I start refining all this stuff, and it becomes really interesting. You can really engage in these ideas of small spaces and how to make them function and stuff, and it's actually pretty interesting, But yeah, I spend a lot of time in the design aspect of it and everything, right down to like the color of the floor and the rug. I got rugs and I put the carpet in. Like this whole trailer, when I got it, I gutted the whole thing. I took everything out. It had a kitchen with a refrigerator, kitchen counter, sink, water heater. It had the benches and table and the bed and a closet and I gutted everything out. I gutted the closet, the kitchen counters, the table and chairs, the bench system with the table and chairs, the bed. I took everything out to where this was all just a blank palette, just like a blank canvas. And then I went in and designed the whole thing myself. And when I showed it to the people that bought me that gave me the trailer, they were like shocked because the trailer was so cramped. Like you could barely even move around because there's a big bed, there's a table with benches, there's a kitchen counter, and a closet and all this shit. Like you could hardly even move in here. When I gutted everything out and redesigned it, now it's got a big open space. Like I could do burpees and fucking yoga and jumping jacks and shit in the middle of here. I can, whereas before you could hardly even move in this fucking thing. So anyway, yeah, this is just some of the stuff that tactics I use when living in this type of way, nomading kind of thing. And for me, my experience with nomading is very similar to the navvies, railroad workers of the 1800s, where like the railroad workers, they would move to a particular spot and then they would stop and then they would be there for months and months because they're building the railroad, and they might even be there for a year or something before they pack up and move to the next location. But that's nomading. Like they were fucking nomads. And that's how my nomading experience isn't where I'm just going around and stuff. No, and it's largely dictated by my job. So I am like I'm picking up, rooting up, relocating, then settling in to work, and then working for months and up to a year at that location. Then once it's done, I'm uprooting and then moving to the next spot and then settling in and getting established and then fucking getting to work and working for months and then so that's my nomading experience. Mine isn't where I'm just freelance traveling wherever and just it's just kind of like where and look at this whatever like these big YouTube channels do, where a lot of these guys that do this, they get Social Security checks and they got their pensions and stuff, and they're older and they're just retired and they're just traveling around showing that. Whereas this is a different kind of thing, so it's not as glamorous and sensational. It's more just like this is just how I live. This is my this is how I make my living. This is the way I live. Yeah. It's not like a retired lifestyle where I'm getting my Social Security checks and my pension money and just doing it because, no, this is how I live. I'm not retired. Anyways, that's it.